Afghanistan, Persia, Mongolia, Turkey, and a few other places. Yeah.
How did they find India?
So the way they did it is their culture, they had a big army, and so they had fights amongst themselves, and they said, I want to own the land. They're like, no, I want to be the king of this land. Then they're like, okay, here, we'll make a deal. You take all the army and go find new land to take. I'll stay here, and you'll go get new land. So what the other person used to be, like let's say there's two brothers, and they didn't want to share. So instead of taking care of their own land, the second brother would go off and try to take someone else's land. That's how they came from. Hanji.
And also, my last question is, were they smart? Why weren't they smart? And also, who made these bad guys?
They're bad guys. They're just normal people like us. They were living in their own land, but then they decided they were going to be bullies. So tell me, do bullies look like me and you? In school, if somebody bullies you, do they have like horns? Can you tell somebody is a bully because the color of their skin changes? They get evil eyes? Not really, right? They just look like you and me, but they're just being mean. That's how these bad guys were. They were living in their own land, and then they decided to be bullies, and they left their land and they came to our land, and they started fighting us. So nobody made them bad guys. They decided to do the wrong thing. So when you decide to do the wrong thing, you become the bad guy.
So my other question?
Yeah, go ahead. Which was?
I think it was like,
ਚੱਲ ਤੂੰ ਸੋਚ ਲਾ ਹਾਂਜੀ
how did Sikhi started?
ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਤੋਂ ਜੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਈਟ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਡਿਸਾਈਡ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ how I just explained how hard it was for people, right? People were treating people so bad. People were coming from other places and bullying people. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji nu Vaheguru ne bhejia vi dekho, you need to tell people how to stop being bad people and help each other, and you need to teach them how to stand up for themselves. Fir Guru Nanak Dev Ji ne Sikhi sikhoni shuru karti. They started taking whatever Vaheguru Ji sent them with, all the information on how to be superhuman, how to be brave, te unna ne lokan nu sikhona shuru karta. They started telling them, stop lying, stop treating each other bad, do naam simran, do meditation so your mind becomes stronger, seva karo, help each other out, hana apne ek duje nu marna nahi, everyone is a family, everyone is equal, so stop treating people badly. So that's how they started teaching people. Te holi holi un Guru Nanak Dev Ji diya powers dekh ke, Guru Nanak Dev Ji nu sun ke, te unna nu vekh ke vi oh kinne takde si, te oh Vaheguru to aaya, is sara kuch dekh ke te naam jap ke, people started to become sick. Hanji.
So now I know. Did the whole earth used to be India?
No. Jitte hona India, that's how much India used to be before. And then other places around it were not India. There were other people.
Because my dad said a long time ago, India used to be a big continent.
That was very long ago. That was like way in the ice ages, before, like during dinosaur times. Yeah, not now. Not when there's humans. Okay, so Hanji. Yeah, Guru Nanak Dev Ji ta aap khanjar rakhde hunde si. They used to have a big old sota, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and they used to have a pesh kabj, and they used to keep it with them all times. Not a sword, but a smaller version of a sword. They were there a long time ago. Like anyone who ever had an army, they would always have swords. But Guru Gobind Singh Ji just created their own different type of swords that like they liked, that were better at, kamai or like different types of things. Guru Gobind Singh Ji talks about all the different types of shastras they were during their time in their Bani in Dasam Granth. So shastra jede si bahut char to, even cave people had shastra. They used to make arrows out of rocks. Yeah, you can create swords, you can melt metal, and then you can create them into like give them shape and make them. But the first ever sword has been here for a long, long time. But just the version, just the different type of sword that Guru Gobind Singh Ji made is what the one they designed. But the swords have been here for a long time. Samjh lagi ki nahi? Okay. ठीक है. So that's why Guru Sahib Ji came. Let me give you one more thing. Why did Guru Nanak Dev Ji have to come to this world and start Sikhi when there's so many other religions? Number one is because everyone was dukhi and no one was being nice to each other. So Vaheguru Ji sent Guru Nanak Dev Ji to the world to tell people how to live a better life. But one really important thing, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਣੀ ਪੈਣੀ ਆ. Vaheguru made humans for one purpose. It's very important to remember this. We ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਨਾਮ ਜਪੀਏ. ਨਾਮ ਜਪ ਕੇ we're supposed to meet Vaheguru. The key to meeting Vaheguru, to go back home from where we came from Vaheguru, to go back to Vaheguru, the key is we have to jap Naam. We have to do Vaheguru, Vaheguru. But if we don't do Vaheguru, Vaheguru, we will never get there. But the problem is no one is telling anyone, all of us. Did you guys know this before? That the reason why we're here is we have to go back to home to Vaheguru? No, we didn't know that. So there's nobody was in the world was telling Sikh people and anybody in the world, all around the world, they, hey people, the reason why you're here is because you have to go back home. It's like a video game. You have the purpose. You have to fight everyone, to fight all the bad things in you, lying, cheating, being mean, being a bully. You have to fight all of these things inside of you, become a good person, and go meet Vaheguru. And the only way you can meet Vaheguru is by doing Vaheguru Simran. And nobody was telling that to anyone. So Vaheguru sent Guru Nanak Dev Ji here. Vaheguru came himself. How many of you guys play video games? Okay, so you guys know what a skin is? Right? In Fortnite you have different skins. So Vaheguru took on a skin, and that skin's name was Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And he came into this world and he started telling everyone, hey, listen, the reason why you're in this world is because you have to jap Vaheguru Ji's Naam so that you can go back home and win this game. Right? So nobody was telling anybody that. So that's why Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Vaheguru Ji himself had to come here and start telling everyone. That's why ਆਪਾਂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਦੇ ਹਾਂ. We just don't do Gurbani to become strong and good. We also do Gurbani and Path so we could meet the goal of being a human. What's the goal of being a human? Huh? Go back where?
Go back to Vaheguru Ji.
How can you do that?
You do Simran, Gurbani, and the two powers that I know. It's Sakya and Gurbani.
And Seva. Very good. Hanji. I told you exactly right now. The point of life is, no, listen, it's a good question. The point of life is that you come here, before you die, right? Your job is to try and meet Vaheguru, to see them with your own two eyes. But if you, and jap naam, do Vaheguru, Vaheguru Simran, and meet Vaheguru. And that's your job to do that before you die. If you don't die, you got to come back the next janam again. And you keep coming back and you keep coming back until finally one day you reach that goal and you finally meet Vaheguru. And then you're like, yes, I don't have to go back now. Right? So how many of you guys want to come back again? How do you guys want to be born again? Okay, let me explain to you. How many of you guys want to come back and learn how to walk again? Or do homework again? Learn how to brush your teeth, clean the house, listen to your parents all the time again? I don't. I'm done. I did it one time. I'm not coming back again, right? It's hard. You have to do homework. It's so boring. Imagine having to come back all over, be a baby, learn how to walk, and then you have to learn how to go to school, wake up early every time, every time you come. You die, and then you're born again. You go to school, you do all this, and then you go die, and then you come back. How many of you guys think that's fun? Okay. Well, let me tell you one thing. That's fun, right? But what if you don't know what family you're going to be born in again? What if you're born in a poor family and like there's no TV, no internet, and you have to work all day long and no food? Do you have a guarantee you're going to come back as in this family again? Nobody knows. There's no guarantee. So I'm not taking the chance. I don't have to come back again. Right? Because you never know. You know, you could also be born as an animal. Yeah, so imagine you're born as a poor little kitten that doesn't have a family, and you're born under a bridge without one eye, and you have no home, and your mom, the cat mom, leaves you behind because she thinks you have one eye, so you're going to die anyways. So you're under the bridge all by yourself with no food, and there's always dogs chasing you, and one day you get squished on the freeway. You really want to have that type of life? I don't. Hanji. Hanji. Yeah, that's good. Holy. Actually, appa jasa kinna karna hunda Vaheguru. In order to meet our goal, which is to meet Vaheguru, you have to do it every breath, all day. You can never, ever forget Vaheguru, even when you're sleeping. So that's why you have to do so much Vaheguru Simran that it goes into your brain that you're even dreaming about Vaheguru. I'll tell you a Saki. Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji si jede, they used to do so much part that they had Guru Granth Sahib Ji memorized. And Guru Granth Sahib Ji has 1,430 ang. Ang means pages, but we don't say that because that's disrespectful. Right? So they have 1,430 ang. And one night, a Gursikh was passing by and they heard voices coming from Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji's room. And they opened the door and they saw that Sant Gurbachan Singh Ji was sleeping. But they were sleeping, but their mouth was moving. So they came in and they heard their lips moving and they were saying Gurbani. And for the whole night, they stood there for 30 minutes, almost hour, and they kept going and they kept going. And they noticed, they're like, wait a minute, the Gurbani is making sense. It's like one line and another line and another line. Like, I think they're doing it memorized. So then they came back the next day. They had a pothi. Pothi means apna gutka. And they brought it. And they followed along. Whatever ang Babaji was on, they continued from last night. So they went to sleep. And the next night, wherever they stopped, and the Singh was just following along. Next line, next tok. They're like, oh my God. Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh Ji is doing Sahaj Path, which Sahaj Path means reading Guru Granth Sahib Ji in their sleep. And they have it memorized. That's how much path we have to do. But I'm not saying that's going to be easy. So we start off small. So let's say if you do 10 minutes every day, then you slowly start doing all your Panjabaniya. Then you slowly start doing Rara Sahib too. Then you do all Rara Sahib and Sola Sahib. But then you start adding Mool Mantar while you're walking around. And holy, one day you'll get to the point where even when you're not awake, you start doing Simran. Hanji.
So what if one day you're at an amusement park and there's a very cold slide and then you're scared of the slide that it's because it's 1,100 meters tall and there are 5 loop-de-loops and a big bump, 5 meters, and you're very scared, so you start doing Simran?
That's a very good thing to do because Simran makes you stronger. Hanji. The point of meeting God is you get all of Vaheguruji's powers. You become the strongest being in the world.
And then you will be on history?
You'll be in history as well. If you meet Vaheguru, you don't have to do what you don't want to. You'll always be happy. You'll never be sad. There will be never anything in the world that will ever make you sad ever again. Huh? No, you're done. You're out of the human body. You're like, Vaheguru is everywhere at all times, all the time. You can. A lot of people have come back and they've gone back. Like Sant Jarnail Singh Ji was a Singh that was in Guru Gobind Singh Ji's army, in Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji's army, and they came back as Sant Jarnail Singh Ji. Hanji.
Can you take other people's soul out and bring them to Guruji?
Only if you're Sant. And a Sant has to do Simran a lot before they do that. So let's all become Sant, and then you guys could come back and take me to Guru Sahib. Yeah? Deal?
Yes.
Oh, come on, Hanji. Very good. Thank you. Hanji. Hanji, dasso. Guru Sahib Ji ਦੇ ਅਕੋਰਡਿੰਗ ਹਨਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਉਦੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਬਣੀ ਉਦੋਂ ਹੀ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਤੇ ਇੱਕੋ ਟਾਈਮ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਰਾਈਟ ਗੋਰੇ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਆ ਬਈ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਐਡਮ ਤੇ ਈਵ ਆਏ ਸੀ ਦੋਨੇ ਰਾਈਟ ਤੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਚੀਅਨਸ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਬਾਅਦ 'ਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਈ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਆ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਇੱਕ ਫੁਰਨਾ ਛੱਡਿਆ ਫੁਰਨਾ ਛੱਡਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕਦਮ ਹੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਬਣ ਗਈ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਆਉਣੇ ਸੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਕੁਛ ਹੋਣਾ ਸੀ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਛ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਕੋਲ ਐਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ to make a big bang, to make things like Jupiter and the sun, right, with one word, right, Vaheguru can create humans like this. And Sukhmani Sahib de vich Guru Sahib ji kende a Vaheguru can destroy millions and millions. Like every second there's a world being created and destroyed. Every second. Right? Inni shakti hai Vaheguru de kole. Inni vaddi dunya that there's worlds like solar systems, like Earths being created and destroyed that are much bigger than Earth. Every second. That's how much Shakti Vaheguru ji has. Have you guys all heard of black holes? Yeah. So when Vaheguru ji got the black hole, it's this big old hole. It's so dark. It has so much gravity that it sucks in anything and everything around it like a vacuum. Right. So Guru Sahib ji, jado ji karda, Vaheguru ji da jado ji karda, like, okay, I'm getting bored of this earth. Destroy it. There's a black hole and it eats everything and it's gone in seconds. Right? So Vaheguru de kole inni shakti a, ikko second de vich jadon unna ne sochya sara kuch ban janda, ikko second je unna ne kiha okay band ho jaye aur naas ho janda. Inni shakti a Vaheguru de kole. All right, last question fir mila da apna time ho gaya 45 the okay theek hai. Haan ji.
So, what if you were at home making dinner for your family, and then you hear something shake on the floor, and then a big crack comes, and then it makes the earth in half.
Fir aapa mar jana sareyan ne.
And then two black holes are next to them, and it sucks in. But then Guruji saves that earth and makes a new one.
Yeah, tenu pata o kende Gurbani de vich Vaheguru ne bahut wari banaya wa te taya wa.
And then he makes people. And then he makes the people who were sucked into the black holes in there so they can have another life.
Vaheguru could, and he probably would. Haan ji, 10 last questions. Haan ji, pehla tusi kar lo. Okay, so they are real, but Sikh, you know how the Gore people say that heaven and hell is forever? Sikh people don't believe that. So let's say if you did good things, right? You'll go to heaven for a little while, but if your good things run out, you have to come back. Where we want to go to Sacramento. Sacramento is where Vaheguru lives. Heaven is below Sacramento. That's where people who do good deeds stay, but they haven't won the game. Remember, what's the purpose of the game? To meet Vaheguru. So if you haven't met Vaheguru yet, you'll go to that place where they send people that do good stuff, and then when you're good and ready, they'll send you back to start trying again. If you're bad, they'll send you to hell, Narak, where you'll be punished for doing your bad things, and then when you're good and ready and you've paid off all your bad things, you come back as a human. So Narak and Swarg are not for forever. The only thing forever is Sachkhand. That's where we want to go, where Vaheguru is. Hanji, tusi aur de do. Go ahead.
When does the black hole end?
I actually don't know. You know, you can find that out. If you meditate long enough and hard enough, you can actually find out everything about how the world works. I haven't done meditation long enough. Hanji. From what I've heard from other Gursikhs, it seems like the earth has been created and destroyed 36 times at least. Created, destroyed. But I'm not sure. Yeah? Do Naam Simran. And I'm serious. Like, Naam Simran is the most powerful thing you can ever do in the whole world that will get you results the fastest. Let me give you an example. There are other people from Dusre Dharm that actually jap Vaheguru. They won't be sick, but they'll be doing the mantra. They'll be using Vaheguru to meditate, because they said out of all the other mantras they tried, out of all the other, meditation types and words they tried to do meditation with, Vaheguru gives the fastest results. You can get the most powers the fastest. You can, whatever you want, your mind will focus the fastest. That's why Vaheguru mantra is the best. Hanji. Our last dua. Hanji. Vaheguru ne. It's a system to make sure jo tarti done hogi to destroy it. Hanji. One of the ways to get rid of it. You know, how many of you guys have heard how the dinosaurs got extinct? Meteorites, right? That's another way. Or volcanoes. That's another way Vaheguru gets rid of things. Another thing is called parla. Parla hundi hai jadon na sari dharti de utte pani aa janda and everyone drowns and we're done. No, that's a flood. Parla is like when all the earth and the whole world gets covered with water. There's nothing left. That's another way. But it's probably not happening soon. Hanji. Anybody else? Last question. Hanji.
What if
ਇਹ ਸਾਇੰਟਿਸਟ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ I don't know probably not I'm not ਹਾਂਜੀ no that's not parle I'm telling you is like all continents will be covered with water and that's a long time away this is just normal flooding it's going to go away ਹਾਂਜੀ last question ਸੱਚੀ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਓਕੇ ਚਲੋ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ 2 ਮਿੰਟ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਹਨਾ ਚੌਂਕੜੀ ਮਾਰ ਲਓ ਸਾਰੇ ਟੂਈਆਂ ਸਿੱਧੀਆਂ ਹੱਥ ਇੱਥੇ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਬੰਦ ਬਾਅਦ ਚੋਂ ਪੁੱਛ ਲਈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੌਂਕੜੀ ਮਾਰ ਲਾ ਚੌਂਕੜੀ ਮਾਰ ਲਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ